Well, I love the sun coming in. I've subjected you to one bad video. I'm not going to do a second one. So I just wanted to share with you the things that you may not have seen. I have, where do I move that out the way so it doesn't confuse the story? I have, turned over the fabric from the front to the back, but haven't stitched it because I wanted to get these things into place because they'll go over that. I added some beads down the side here because those two edges there will be joined, and so I just thought the beading might be quite nice with a little bit of pop of colour here around the bird. I've just added some extra stitching, put a piece of my own stamped flower fabric in there, adding things to my pocket so I don't lose them. Continued with that bit of variegated thread here just to coordinate what I'd actually done on the front cover, which is where I added it here and down here in some French knots. So just wanted to keep the story going. So yes, I hope that's helpful, and my apologies for the last video, and hopefully that you'll keep going with me because that was disappointing for me, but as I said, I tried to fix it and couldn't. So that's me. That's my front cover to start with now. Good. All right, so my next part of this, or where I'm working next, is that's going in there. I did show you that with a little bit of extra. I'm leaving this for now because I don't know what to do, and because I want to add these three-dimensional elements that will come down here, I thought that's what I need to work on next until I can make a final decision on where I'm going with extra bits down here, with extra bits maybe here, what that might really look like. To be continued. Okay, all right. So my plans for making a three-dimensional bulb was to use some of this hand-dyed wool blanketing that I have and some hand-dyed scrim. So I drew myself out a bulb so that I had a bit of an idea, because this is the actual size of my pages and what that would look like proportionally. So I'm going to use that as a pattern. Cut it out, and I don't know what I'm going to do. You're going to find out when I find out, because I don't know. Isn't it lovely when the heater goes off? Sorry, it's going to keep coming back on and on because it's really cold today. And so the heater's just wanting to keep on fussing. I don't know if I can get all of this detail on the felt, or the wool felt, because that's trickier to cut out to get any definition in it, but we'll give it a go. See what happens. I've got a couple of busy days coming up, so I thought if I can get an extra video in now while I can, that might be a good thing to do. Just going to make sure. Gosh, have you got shadow going on there? Oh, I'm terrified now. I just wasn't very happy with, sorry to make you dizzy, wasn't very happy with what happened in the previous video. So I'm going to keep on working this. I've got this bit of tape here to try and remind me not to go below it, but I hadn't thought about how far I actually could go up. Probably need another bit of tape, but I'm not going to do that right this second. So my thought about this is to find a piece that I think might look okay as far as a colourway is concerned, and I think I'm going to go with this darker one simply because I'm going to add this extra bit of cheesecloth on here. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to go vaguely with that position. I don't know. It'll work or it won't work. And we can make a plan after that. I just thought because I'd already drawn it, I'd make use of that. This is wool blanketing, so it won't fray. It will just, you just can't define the shape completely. But I thought, let's have a go and see what happens. Good. So Paul's home from the family football day. Apparently I missed nothing, so that was lucky. I didn't have to feel as guilty as I did to start with. Yes, they had a family day, lots of football going on, barbecuing and food and coffee machines and those sorts of things. The youngest grandson was there with his mum and dad, and the oldest grandson was off doing his own thing. So lucky I thought to start with that it might have had something to do with presentations, but apparently it didn't. So there we go. You know, I don't know which bit that I want to use. So, and I want 3. That's my thought about this. So, you know, I'm just going to put it somewhere else and see what happens. I didn't mind the darkness there. So I guess I'll do something similar here. Yeah, anyway, I don't know what I'll do with these videos about uploading them, whether you'll see one day and one the next. That might be an okay thing to do. But I'm just thrilled that so many people have wanted to come and watch me and subscribe to me, so that's been exciting. That's been exciting for me anyway. I've moved those flowers, so hopefully, for goodness sakes, I won't sniff. The heater's bad enough, but hopefully I won't sniff, which I was doing. Because they really did, once I started playing with them, I think I just intensified the smell of them. And while I love the look of them, I'm not fussed on the smell. And this is really purely me playing with you, and I have no idea how it will all end up, but let's give it a go. There's nothing wrong with playing. If we don't like it in the end, we don't use it. Simple as that. I don't know where I want this bit. I kind of like the darkness at the bottom, so maybe 3 being different is okay too, so that's all right. But I'm going to cut. I won't get all 3 made tonight now, that's for sure. I've convinced my husband that we'll have something to improve the leftovers from last night, so he's all right with that. He's playing in his shed, so he won't be creating any noise in the background. And I really don't need to do very much. I'm just going to add some greens to the leftover casserole that I made last night. Love it, I know. Get organised enough to do enough for 2 meals in one hit. That's really good, and sometimes I'll freeze it, but I've just decided that we're having it. So yeah, so how they'll all end up together, I don't know. But let's just have a play and see what happens. Sorry, did I get my head in it? Now I've got my head in it, or I haven't got you in it. One or the other. Goodness. So I possibly dyed this at the same time because it kind of reminds me of a similar colour. And I remember when I was doing it, laying out lots of vegetation on the fabric and adding them to the same dye bath. I'm kind of thinking about how the different layers of a bulb, and I did research it, daffodils and jonquils have a very similar looking bulb, while one is probably smaller than the other. I'm still kind of trying to work on that, and so my thought is to add this bit of cheesecloth that's been dyed and roughly stitch it down. I'd like it to be a bit rustic because those bulbs look very almost like very dinosaur looking when they're dried out and there's nothing pretty about them. Not that I've done that. I don't have bulbs in my garden. I said to you before that we've moved to a house, a newer house, and the gardens were all done and probably done to sell the house. And there's not really garden beds, but the more I'm playing with bulbs at the minute, the more I'm thinking I should have some. So anyway, let's just see what happens. I've got myself some threads and things here that I plan to use to attach this stuff down. I thought that I might just start. Oh, that's really pale, isn't it? That's a bit sad. Will it look all right if I just add a few bits and pieces to it? I don't know. Well, it might actually work. I'm not going to overlay everything here. I wonder if I should get just some normal thread. I wonder if that might help to make it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have a go, and if I don't like it, I'll pull it out. I have absolutely no issue at all with pulling things out. It's a play day, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll give that needle a go. No idea what the size is. That's the length of it between my thumb and my forefinger. It's got a reasonably good hole in it, so I know that I can thread this through it. I just trim it off. What I said in my previous video was that I don't know what this is. I suspect it's a darning wool. Oh, good. There's a tiny weeny little bit that just came off, so let's start with that. Who would know? Anyway, some of the other threads that I've got here are not going to be able to be stitched, so I wonder if that colour might have been better. Let's just see. Oh yeah, maybe that one might be better. Let's have a go at that one. Oh, I've got another one somewhere. Can't see it right at this very second. Yeah, I'm going to have a go. Wait on. Let me see. I'll keep moving away from the camera, and so here. I'm here. You haven't lost me yet. Don't know what that happened with that other thread. My mum used to say gone from Tosca. I think it was just a saying, but I don't know where it is, so it's gone. Let me have a look in here. I've got other wool embroidery threads that I have, none of which is any good to me. Aha! It's this one. Oh no, that's just like even worse. No, stick to this, girl. That's just like what we're doing. Don't know if it'll work. If it won't work, well, we'll try something else. See what happens. See where we get to it. That doesn't want to be threaded either. Gosh, started off really good, haven't I? Oh, like not even getting it anywhere close to the hole. I can thread a beading needle, but I can't thread a needle with a bigger hole. Good. Yeah. Did that really just come off in... Oh, did I cut it? Maybe I cut it. Oh, God. Don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. I'll get there. So, my thought about this is not to make it too messy on the background, because you may see it occasionally. But with wool, you can bury it. So because it's quite, there's some thickness attached to it. Oh, I'm not going to like this needle. But I'll persevere for a second or two. Doesn't want to play with me at all, this. Gosh. Off to a wonderful start. Bear with me, if you can. And I really thought this will give me a chance to think about what else I want to add to the side of that page, because I really don't know what I want to do. I've put some bits and pieces on it. I'm just going to stop thinking about what I'm doing and just do it. As soon as I start talking about it, I do some weird thing, or some weird thing happens. So if I can just tuck that knot in there, that might just help to disguise it. So I'm kind of thinking that I would just add some little tiny stitches. I don't want it to be a major design focus, but I want it to, hold it down. So when you're going across, you can sort of slip between the wool fibre. This was a piece of blanketing, old blanketing that I dyed, eco-dyed, and so it's quite dense because it's been through some processes. It's, probably number one, old, and has probably been washed before, and then I've dyed it, and that goes through a fairly intense heating process where it gets boiled with the plant matter on it, and it's probably almost felted. So I think it has felted, because it's not going to come apart, that's for sure. But see, I'm not really changing the look of the background much. You may see a few stitches here and there, but it just gives, it's holding the cheesecloth down without creating its own marks necessarily, and that's probably what I wanted it to do. Might have been an accidental thing, because I wasn't sure whether this would disappear, but it is disappearing, and I'm good with that. I like these, you know, fluffy bits. They'll stay, because when you pick up a bulb that's dried out, it has all those scrappy bits attached to it, bits of the skin and whatever dried off and hanging off and all of that. Yes, this thread is not gonna, oh good. So what it did was it shredded, and I think it's just the way it's probably a hand spun thread. So yep, now I've got threaded again, but it's shredded itself. The joys of doing stuff on film. That's all right. We'll get it sorted. Nope, it doesn't want to do it. You know, it's funny, when I was procrastinating about whether I would film and do some YouTubing, I thought, oh, I listened to some of the other people that I've watched and gone, they always have something to talk about. I thought, how am I ever going to think about something to talk about? I don't know whether that's something I can I'd have no problem talking about anything. I just keep talking. Oh, this does not want to go through, so this might not have been my best choice of thread. Can I get it through there? Holding it carefully. Oh well, it's got a little bit of a bubble there. It's just what it's going to do, and I don't mind about that. I don't really need everything to be absolutely perfect in what my stitching looks like. I like all these scrappy bits, and I'm actually quite all right with that little knotty bit there that's got itself embedded, and it's not going to come out, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I can't believe that I can keep on finding something to talk about. It's amazing. And there we go. We're nearly round there. What am I going to do next? No idea. Just going to wait and see what happens. So I think because I've got this scrunched, oh, that bit looks all right there. I'm all right with that. I'm doing this. I haven't done a sample. This is me doing it with you for the very first time. I had a vision. I had an idea in my head what I thought I might like to do, and I'm just going to hope that works. What I'll do for the second and third one, I don't know. Probably needs to be slightly different. God, I've got it tangled up in my thimble. I've got it going in all sorts of weird things. Oh, the heater's gone off again, thank God. I don't know why it just keeps coming on, but it's cold here, and I think that heater is just trying to maintain somewhat. God, this morning when I got up, I thought, gee, it's really cold this morning. 13 degrees, the house told me. Now, we have central ducted heating and we have double glazed windows. 13 degrees. Yikes. Oh, yeah, there it goes again. Sorry if that's annoying. I think I don't even need to put any more stitches in there. I think it's got like enough going on. It's not ugly on the background, on the back, so if it flips itself over in the book, I think it probably will be all right. I'm just going to go through there and just finish it off. I don't want ugly knots and bits and pieces on the back of it. Am I going to use this thread again? I don't know, because that was a slight challenge. All right, so what am I going to add next? I thought some of this thread here, which is a bobbly boucle thing, that again probably got dyed in the same dye bath. I'm not going to be able to stitch it. It's going to probably have to be couched on, but maybe I need another bit of this. Does it need another colour? Can I find another colour in here? No, that's too similar. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good in there. So I'm thinking about this little bit in here, and just needs a bit of twiddle in there to make it stand out. Let's have a go at that. It will just fray off. You know, that's just the nature of the beast, really. But at least we can see it. All right, the thread's still on here. Let's have another go at it. Oh, my nose is still really itchy from those crazy flowers. Do I want to persevere with that? Because it's got a bit of fibre in it. Oh, let's give it a go and see what happens. It can just break. We'll just have another go at something else. So this is me, warts and all. Nothing predestined, that's for sure. It will just be. So all I'm doing is sort of burying that needle. I thought it was not very nice, that needle, to start with, but it's actually been behaving itself and making it fairly simple. Tuck that knot in under there so you can't see it. And I'm really just doing a running stitch as something to hold those layers down. Like I said, I don't mind if it appears on the other side, but because you will see it when it's hanging in its free state, just thought maybe I needed to be a bit restrained. But you don't have to be. I think, you know, if you want to make a feature of it, make a feature of it. I just didn't think that I needed to at this point, and maybe I will with another one. It would have been good to have had that just under there, because this bottom layer is the one that goes over the top. So just going to have a go at teasing that a little bit. It actually matches this one quite well. I might just come backwards instead of going forwards, just to hold it down. Yeah, well, I think this is what I wanted it to look like, ish. Haven't finished it yet, but I think it's probably was what I had in my head. Hard to sometimes decide when you haven't got an exact thing to copy off. It's just something that I thought about, other than a real bulb, was my copy point. Cool. All right, well, that's that layer. Now, what will I do for the next layer? I'm thinking that I had, yep, another piece of dyed cheesecloth. No, maybe that just needs to go at the top bit there. Yeah, I don't mind it in there. Just going to have a go at that, see what it looks like. I know I've got another bag of it somewhere. Just can't see it right at this very second. I'm just looking over here, sorry. I know I had another bag of sort of bits. No, I just wasn't. Should have got myself a bit more organised with that. What did I do with it? Did I have it here? No. No. Bother. All right, talk amongst yourselves for a second, because it's definitely here and I just absolutely cannot see it. All right. Here, nothing that I want to use. Oh, that one's got a little bit of potential. Not that. All right, no good. Scrap that idea. That's not going to happen. But yeah, maybe a bit of that. Goodness, I don't even know what that is. It could be anything. Just a dyed bit of something. It looks a bit crepey, so whether that's a real word. But yeah, I reckon let's have a bit of a go at that one. You know what I think I should have probably done was start at the top and work my way down. And some of you are probably saying you should have done that, girl, and I didn't. But that's all right. It's trial and error, and I can fix it in the next one maybe. But hopefully I can have a bit of a play with this. And, you know, I think always your first one is your worst one, because that's where you make all your mistakes. That's where you find out what you can or can't do, should have done it differently. Do I want to keep using this thread? I don't know, but I don't mind that it kind of disappears, so maybe I do want to use it. But it's horrible to thread, so sorry I'm subjecting you to that. Bit of painful stuff. Have another cut. See if I can get it on there. If I can't, we're going to toss it in a second. Any second it's out the door. Any second. All right, done. Phew, I was lucky. Or not, I don't know. Just being ridiculous because it's just cut on my board. Probably should have just gone for something different, but I quite like it because it's kind of like, it's very fibrous, and so I'm thinking that that's the kind of look that I wanted. Again, I'm going to whip in underneath here just to hide that knot for the back of it. I can cut that whippy bit off there and try and see if I can tuck it in underneath. Probably can. You know, we're women, we can do whatever we want. It's not there. Sorted. Because I didn't stitch it right up to the edge, I think that that's probably going to help. And like I said, it's really just an abstract thing. It's not, I'm not trying to make it look real. I just want to make it look a bit like what a bulb might look like. And if I was trying to make it an absolute, you know, botanical representation, it might have been something different that I tackled it with. I want to make sure it scrunches like the skins of the bulbs do, or the sort of like, you know, they're not. Oh yeah, you can see the thread a bit more on that one. That's all right. Let's see what it looks like when it's done. Try and get it in under that layer of cheesecloth. If I can, I'm gonna try and poke it in there first. No, it just doesn't want to play with me at the minute. I want to play the game that I'm playing. Oh, I'm not talking because I'm too busy concentrating. Sorry. I'm still here. I was actually thinking about, you know, making a video and people watching it, and my daughter-in-law had sent me this very cute photo of my grandson that I was talking about with the broken arm, and she took a photo of him from behind with him sitting on the couch facing the telly and watching me. How funny is that? 10-year-old kids. But my daughter told me the same thing. You know, she's got a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they just love watching me on the telly. And it's just like, I just think it's funny. I thought they would never be interested in what I might be doing, although in saying that, they are always interested in being in this room with me because they love using the real art supplies. They that's their thing that they like doing. And my daughter's children are going to come and have a couple of sleepovers during the week, and I've got this sneaking suspicion that they're going to go, Nana, can we do a video with you? So you never know. Next week, you just may very well see a couple of extra little hands attached to my videos. I'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, I was amused when my daughter-in-law sent me the photo of him sitting watching me on the telly. Funny kids. But, you know, they're very into YouTube, you know, but they watch all those crazy gaming things that nearly drive me spare when they're here, and I know that they like them, and that's all right. I might put a stitch in here just to sort of take that fuffiness out, but keep it little. Here we go. Now we're going to see the stitching on the back, but that's all right. But I think that bit of foofiness needed to just be flattened a little bit. I actually think that bit of pink in there looks all right. All right, cool. And then I'll put that brighter bit that's up the top, which probably makes sense where the bulb's pushing itself. Oh, yep, I'm going to get a bit of stitching here, but I'm all right. I'm all right with it. Do I say that every time I do something? Sorry. Hopefully it's better than Am I going to say No, I'm going to try very hard not to say but it does come out occasionally. All right. Yeah, that's kind of, I've got that bit of a thing in my head that's all right. I'm going to try and whip up there with the thread. And then put this brighter green in here, this brighter yellowy colour in here. Oh, do I want that in there? I don't know. Maybe at the very top, yes, but maybe, yeah, I might couch a bit of that on and maybe just stick a weeny bit of that right at the very top, which is that new bit of growth that's sticking through. I wonder if that needs to go between each of the layers. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe it does. I'm thinking. So what I'm going to do is couch it. So it's that horrible thread that's going to shred itself in any second. It probably just doesn't like being in the needle, so yeah. I think that's all right. Again, I'm just trying to bury my needle through the wool, through the blanket, so that I'm not getting too many ugly stitches on the background. Like I said, I don't want it to, I don't want it to look crazy if it flips over. And because it's going on an edge of a page, I thought about, should I do sort of some back and front, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't think that will work really well. No, I'm not going to knot it off because I don't think it needs to be knotted off. It's not going to go anywhere. Well, I'm all right with this. So what I might do is love and leave you for a minute. I'll keep having a bit of a play. That's kind of, my thoughts about how this is going to go. I'll put that, add those bits there. The other bit that I thought that I would do is add a bit of, squiggly stuff here. I've just pulled out the last of my beetroot out of the garden, and the bit where the root goes down and there's other rooty little bits, it sort of almost looks a bit prehistoric there as well, and I think that I will have a play with that. That's kind of what's in my head, that I would couch that down. Will I leave some dangly bits? I don't know. But what I might do is end here and come back. All right, see ya, bye. Okay, 2 more seconds. I just wanted to share with you where I'd got to with these. I've done 2 now. Trying to make them look a little bit different is a little bit tricky. But anyway, this was the, is this the first one? This is the first one I did. I added the couched bit of that boucle thread around the bottom, defined those edges with it, and that really helped to sort of like embed those other bits in, a couple of little rooty bits down there. This one I tried to change a little bit more. I'm happy with that lime green because I think it'll go with the rest of the page, and that pinky bit was a sheer fluke, but I think it works. Here I did those lines. I had that in the original sketch, those liney bits, and I thought, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot I did those, so I've added them there. A few little bits there as well. The thread's behaving itself. 2 down. The third one will be, you'll see that once I've completed the page. I think I won't come back and share another one for now, but these 2, I just want them sort of, you know, tied together with a thread, so that they dangle off together. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll show you when I'm done. All right, I hope you've had a wonderful day. I've had fun playing today. It's just about tea time, might be wine time, but anyway, hope you're all good. See you later. Bye.